Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Niels, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculata.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, Drac. And do we have any interesting news this week?
A little bit. We
a little
bit. Just some teases, but we do have some news.
All right, then we'll begin with the news that came from the Friday afternoon stream. And the beginning of this is that Update 34 now has a title.
And the title is, drumroll please, Death or Glory.
I know which one my character will get.
Yeah, me too. Death, always death. But yes, Update 34 is entitled Death or Glory. So there you have it for those wondering. And that usually means when we have a title, we have a release date looming. And we do soon, within the next couple weeks, they're hoping.
Soon. That means soon TM?
Yes, soon TM.
Okay. I didn't know whether the trademark was owned by Turbine or if it's owned by Standing Stone now.
We're still doing the TM trademark.
Oh, okay.
This time it's the SSG TM. So,
okay.
Yeah, Cordovan did say that they want to have at least one more round on the Mania to test a Reaper. And then if everything pans out within, we should get the release by the end of the month. Because they definitely want to include Reaper in 34. So if for some reason something, they find a major bug or something doesn't pan out with Reaper, they might push 34 back, he said, because they definitely want Reaper in 34.
I think that's the entire point of 34 almost.
Yeah, that's pretty much what he didn't come out and say that, but he strongly suggested that Update 34 was basically Reaper. So it all depends on that. But there you go. Death or Glory is the title, though.
All right. Now I know the title has a good reason to it then, because Reaper mode, Death or Glory is what you're going to get out of it.
It definitely makes sense, yes.
And yes, we'll go back to which one I would get a fire attempt in Reaper mode. Definitely Death.
Yep.
So my question for you is, will Ravenloft get any raids?
The answer to this, we found out, is yes.
Ooh. Not that I do raids.
Cordovan is very slick and smooth, too.
Ooh.
In the live stream, his Friday afternoon live stream, the question was brought up about, can you tell us, and no, I didn't ask it, can you tell us anything more about Ravenloft, like any of the quests or anything that we'll do? And he said, and I'll kind of paraphrase it here, I will put in the show notes the exact timestamp, so if you want to go watch the video, you can see. But paraphrasing what Cordovan said, is he said, we will be releasing a producer's letter soon that will detail some of what the raids and quests will look like in Ravenloft. Then he paused and he said, raids? Did I just say raids? And then he had this little grin on his face.
Good.
And then he just went right on.
Plural?
So you're smooth, Cordovan. You're smooth. So yeah. So it looks like, and I said, I guess I didn't say it on the show. I guess it was on DDO Cast that I said, with Ravenloft, you have to have a Strahd raid. It has to be done. You can't do Ravenloft without having a Strahd raid. So is that the raid that's coming? We don't know. That would be my guess.
What would be the other raid then, if he used the plural?
I think he didn't really mean plural. I think he just said raid. Well, see, I don't know why he would say raids though. That's a good question. I'm trying to think how. I can't think of it. I can't think of Ravenloft. What any other thing you would need other than just Strahd. Yeah, I can't think of why you would want multiple raids.
How about a raid to defend the town being attacked by the denizens of Ravenloft?
Yeah, I can see that. That would kind of work, I guess. Or maybe a raid to actually get into the castle? Yeah, that's kind of stretching it.
Yeah, stretching it.
So, I guess we'll see.
Maybe the first raid ends with Strahd going into mist form, and so you have to have a second raid in order to actually kill him.
Could be, because he does that in the Ravenloft module a lot.
Yeah.
He does toy with you, and then you like knock him down, and he's like, okay, I'm out. See ya.
Right. So eventually you have to have a second raid where you actually go to his coffin or something like that, which into a position where he cannot turn into mist form.
Right. That could be. Now that I could see working.
All right. And you said that the producer's letter is coming out at the end of the month?
That's Cordovan said it's being passed around right now to all of the devs for them to sign off on it and to make any changes that they think need to be made. And he said that should take a little while. They're looking at the next couple weeks, but hopefully the goal is to get it by the end of the month. So we shall see if they hit that goal.
All right. Then we'll look then into update 34, and you said that it's going to have one more pass on Lamania, and you're saying that's coming up on Wednesday, right?
Well, the dev preview stream is coming up on Wednesday. That's
dev preview stream. Okay.
Yep, they always do that. They always, a couple of the devs get around, and of course, Cordovan is there, and they go through and they kind of show off some of it, and they talk about it a little bit. So that's planned for Wednesday. Cordovan did say they want to do at least one more pass on Lamania, so I would assume Lamania would be up at some point this week. Here lately, it's been in the middle of the week and not over the weekend. So my guess is I'd look for it maybe Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, or Thursday and Friday maybe. But stay tuned for that. We shall find out. But definitely one more pass of Lamania at least.
How do they do a preview if it's not up?
They go on the internal server that they have.
Okay. So then let's head into the DDO Chronicle issue number 220. And what is that thing? A flying kobold?
It's an Abishai.
Still looks like a flying kobold to me.
I should take you in Grim and Barrett, and you'll get to know them rather well. You fight lots of them in Grim and Barrett.
Those things.
But yes, the Chronicle is back. It's been a while since we've had a Chronicle. In the Community Spotlights, Minion Monday, which is a live show that is on every Monday afternoon on the DDO official Twitch stream, was joined by DDO developer Nobob, and they were doing some raids on Wayfinder. So click over to check that video out. And I did see a tweet that they put out. It looks like they are going to be raiding yet again on Wayfinder for Minion Monday just in a few weeks. So click over on the forums. I think there's a thread up, and they're letting you know what you have to do to flag and which raids they're going to do. But it's always nice to see the devs hop on and play with people like that. And Nobob is a pretty cool dude, so glad to see him getting out to the community. And also the High Lords of Malkir, they are launching their new series for teaching raids again. They did this last year, and they're doing it again this year. And this is taking place every Saturday on Sarlona. So click over and you can read more about that in the thread they put up on the Sarlona forums. So if you want to learn how to do raids, you're on Sarlona. Here is your chance. We do have a bunch of fan site news. DDO Cast, take a look at the year ahead. And that featured me, actually. I was on that show. So click and give that a watch or a listen. And speaking of DDO Cast, Patrick is asking you to fill out a survey. He is collecting questions because he's planning on doing the guild feud again. So there's some questions for that. And he's got some questions on what you like about DDO Cast, what you'd like to see. If you have any questions, what you want him to talk about on the show. Pretty simple survey. Should only take you about 15 minutes. And he does have some prizes he's going to be awarding out for that. He has a couple of the expansions to give away, and he has some DDO points to give away as well. So take a little time and fill that out. Just click over on the link in the Chronicle and help Patrick out to make DDO Cast even better. Also, Jeff over at DDO Gamer is taking another look at the rules for his DDO card game. Still hard at work on the card game. Hopefully, we'll actually get to play that soon. This is version 2 of the rules. He keeps finding some bugs and some little things.
Bugs in the cards. The bugs coming out of the cards, yes.
Bugs coming out of the cards.
Yes. The cards glitch out or something.
So he's finding how hard it is to actually create a game. And I can imagine. And also over on Eben's blog, she's talking about she was flagging for the Black Abbot raid. So click over and read all about that. And then, of course, we have our Chronicle comment. It is back as well. The question this week, Pineleaf, is rule number 1. Always watch out for blank.
Well, then, so I won't give your answer, since I know what your answer is going to be. I'm going to have to instead say shadows, since those things can pop up out of anybody's shadow.
And you think you know what my answer is going to be.
Yeah.
What do you think my answer is going to be?
Well, I was going to think it was traps, since you always play a rogue.
Actually, no, but that's
but because that sounds like too obvious. The
answer, right?
Answer, right?
No, my answer is rule number 1: always watch out for the DM trying to kill you.
You are the DM, so therefore, why should you warn people about that?
Because it's more fun when they're expecting to die.
Ah,
I have to try harder that way.
Okay, so you're like Inigo Montoya.
That's right.
Yeah, my name is Draculita.
And then we also have our official screenshot of the week, and that is from some dude named Cordovan. Don't know who he is. He won the player's pick, I should say, for the DDO team provided 300 screenshot of the week. And you can also click on to see the other contenders. But Cordovan's was a giant Reaper ready to wreak havoc on all of Stormreach.
Oh, what, you mean that there was a contest that was posted for this?
You apparently don't check the forums often, do you, Pine? Yes,
I guess not.
There was a contest, and everybody voted on the screenshot that you wanted to see for the 300 screenshot of the week. Cordovan submitted one. Nobob, Steel Star, and Tolero all put screenshots in.
So it was against various people at Standing Stone then.
Yes, yep. And that was going to be the 300 screenshot of the week. And Cordovan's one, but I must say they were all good. Steel Stars was some people, if you've ever watched the intro video, you might know the people that are in his screenshot. That's all I'll say. In Tolero's, looks like it's in the Defiler of the Just. And Nobob's, I'm not sure where his comes from. It's really dark. You can see a campfire, and it looks like you can see an entrance to a dungeon. Don't know where that's at, if it's even in the game. But
what is that thing?
I'm not sure. That's what I've been trying to figure out. But they're all really good screenshots, but I must say I did like the Reaper shot the best.
Hey, that's almost as big as a Tarask.
And Gumsgang was talking about before when you were talking about flying kobolds in the chat. He says, flying kobolds, watch out for airborne droppings. You're going to need a +5 umbrella for that. And I agree.
All right, let's see what's on sale this week.
We have some pretty good sales this week. 20% off Astral Shards. If you're going to buy them when they're on sale. That's what I say. Guild Renowned Elixirs also at 20% off. We have the Guild Charters and the Guild Airship Beacon at 50% off. And our free sample of the week is a Lesser Treasure Hunter's Elixir. You'll get one of those when you use the coupon code LOOTUP1. LOOTUP1. One of those per account, so choose your server wisely.
All right, let's find out what's coming in from the dungeon. And Rose Gold Metal Dice have started a Kickstarter, another easy roller Kickstarter, and you really need Rose Gold Metal Dice?
You can never have enough dice, Pineleaf. You see, that is rule number 2. Rule number 1 is to watch out for the DM trying to kill you. Rule number 2 is you can never have enough dice. And you can never have enough metal.
Yes, but these look like rather expensive dice.
They do, actually, but if you look at the Kickstarter, to get the 7-piece set with the awesome, I will repeat, awesome skull box that they have for these, is a $45 pledge, which is what the metal dice sell for on their site. So not that bad, and that's not that bad a price for metal dice, because metal dice tend to be pretty expensive, actually. But I love this rose color, though. The rose color just sets it off, and I did put up on the article I put over on DDO Players, I did put, and it's on their Kickstarter page as well, they kind of show you what their gold dice look like and what their copper dice look like, and then you can see what the rose gold looks like. It's kind of a combination between gold and copper. It's kind of like gold and copper mixed, and it gives you just this cool shine. They look awesome. They're using an awesome font for it. I love the skull carrying case that it's in. So just another great Kickstarter from our friends over at Easy Roller Dice. This one is funded now. I just checked to see. They were getting close to being funded, but it looks like now they are over the funding hump. So they are starting on those ever popular stretch goals. They are currently, as we record this on Monday, January 16th, they are at 11,816 of their $7,000 goal. 23 more days to hop in on that. And it looks like the next, let's see, hang on, my computer just went wonky on me. The next stretch goal is going to be the purple numbering is what is up next. Orange was unlocked at 10,000. Purple will be unlocked at 15,000. And if they make it to 18, the skull dice mat that you can add on for $10, that is going to be red. And oh my gosh, that looks awesome. It's kind of purple-ish looking. I don't know if I call it red, but it looks awesome nonetheless. But $18,000 to unlock that one, though. That's a stretch goal. So there you go. If you're looking for metal dice, check out Easy Roller Dice's Rose Gold Kickstarter on Kickstarter now. Find the link over on our page.
Okay, let's see. Note, they do not contain real rose gold. The name comes from the color. Besides, they'd be 100 times as expensive if they did.
Good to know.
Well, yes. I was wondering about that.
See, those Easy Roller Dice guys are always looking out for you, see?
Yes. All right, let's go to Critical Role. Tal'Dorei campaign settings book has been released for Gen Con 50.
We talked about this. It's been a while since we talked that this was announced. This was coming from Green Ronin. And Green Ronin, Chris's Paramus, did lay out kind of the plans for the year, what was happening. And in that, he says, I'm going to make an exception and discuss one of our summer releases because I know I'd get pillared if I didn't mention it. Of course, I'm talking about Critical Role. We had originally intended to release this book in the spring, but we decided we've scheduled it for Gen Con 50 instead. This is Gen Con's 50th anniversary and my 28th Gen Con. That's crazy. He's been to 28 Gen Cons. We wanted a big marquee release for the show, and Critical Role Tal'Dorei campaign setting is the perfect fit. We want to make this a real event, and we hope to have the cast out to Gen Con once again. So if you're looking to pick this up, and of course this is the campaign setting that they're using on Critical Role that was written by Matt Mercer. They are releasing it for the general public, and of course it is using the 5e rule set. And it looks like it's going to be released at Gen Con this August. I cannot imagine what the crowds are going to be like because they were crazy last year. And last year they were releasing the Titans Grade book. The Fantasy Age Titans Grade book came out, and the lines were crazy for that. So I can only imagine how bad these Critical Role lines are going to be for that. So I guess we'll see, because I'll be one of the people in those crazy throng of people.
Yes, and you'll have to... I'm sure you have to spend 10 gold and a party in order to get one.
Yeah, something like that.
Hey, that's it. Maybe you could get an early copy with your Press Pass plus 10 gold in a party, maybe you can get one quickly.
I'll have to try that. See if that'll work.
All right, let's then head on to another RPG that's coming soon, Dusk City Outlaws. What in the world is Dusk City Outlaws?
Well, I am glad you asked, Pine Leaf. This is a brand new RPG coming from a brand new company. Name of the company is Scratchpad Publishing.
Okay.
And there's just a person that you might recognize that is the driving force behind this. One Rodney Thompson. Yes, that Rodney Thompson. I'm waiting for Pine Leaf for it to dawn on him. Rodney Thompson. Please tell me you know who Rodney Thompson is.
Not particularly.
Have you ever played Lords of Waterdeep? Have you ever played the Star Wars role-playing game? Did you ever play the 4th edition Dark Sun campaign setting? Have you ever played Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition? That Rodney Thompson.
Okay.
He's done tons of things. Yeah, Rodney Thompson has been around for a long time. And he decided, what the heck, let's start my own publishing company. And the first game out is Dusk City Outlaws, as you said. This is what they are calling an out-of-the-box game. That means it's designed to be pulled off your game shelf and played on a very short notice with little to no prep work or time required by the players. One player is going to take on the role of the Silver Judge, which is basically the Dungeon Master, while the others are going to create characters that are members of the city's criminal underworld. You are all drawn together to pull off a daring, dangerous, and very lucrative heist and other crimes. Most of all, Dust City Outlaws is a game where the players are in control of the plan and executing it. There's no quote-unquote correct way to pull off the job. There's no right plan that the judge leads the players to execute. Instead, the judge is merely there to lay out the facts before the players, and then it's up to these fine, capable criminals to come up with a plan that will work, do the legwork, put it in motion, and execute the heist of the century. Okay,
so this isn't going to be in the vein of Fiasco then?
No, not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. So you can look for Dust City Outlaws coming soon. It will, of course, be kickstarted. No exact date for when the Kickstarter will go off, but we will keep you updated. It sounds pretty interesting, though, the way it's going to happen. And with Rodney Thompson behind it, I'm sure it's going to be great because he knows what he's doing when it comes to designing games.
All right, then. And then let's go into Torment, Tides of Numenera. Goes gold release date. Boy, this Tides of Numenera goes gold release date looms. Okay. Oh, goes gold date. Oh, that thing really has that. The punctuation on that needs a little bit to be desired. Okay, Tides of Numenera goes gold. The release date looms.
There you go. Look at that. Congratulations. Got it. Finally. Third time's the charm, as they say.
All right.
Yes, it's been a while since we talked about Torment Tides of Numenera. This, of course, is the video game, which is based on the Numenera game world, and it's one step closer to getting out. It is now ready to go to the publisher to get pushed out for download. The release date is set for February the 28th, and In Exile Entertainment has also announced that they have put a interactive quest video up. And I actually did this video, and it's pretty neat the way they do it. If you want to know kind of how questing will be working in Torment Tides of Numenera, you can click on the YouTube video and play it, and you will have choices that you have to make. And then you will see what it's going to play like in the game, because you're basically playing a quest from the game, but on YouTube. I've never seen anybody do this. It's really awesome the way they have done this. And the video is narrated by the creative lead, Colin McComb. And you do have different endings depending on the choices that you make in the video. So check that out if you kind of want to get a little taste of what Torment will be like. And Gumsking in the chat is saying, it's finally almost here. I hope it's good. I supported it, and I forgot all about it until now. So I'm glad we could remind you about it. And I have been playing it. I haven't played it lately. I need to update mine. But it's changed a lot from the very early build that I played. But I think the last time I played it was probably in October. It was really good then, but I know they've made a lot of changes and a lot of bug fixes and stuff. So I'm excited to check this out as well. But if you want to get a taste for it, though, check out the interactive quest video that is linked over in the site, over on the post up on ddoplayers.com. Word of warning, though, make sure you're on a computer when you do this. It will not work on mobile, and it will not work on an iPad. It's due to the way they're doing the interactive elements in the video, because you have to like click on your answers and it takes you to a different part of the video. And apparently that doesn't work on mobile. So if you want to check the video out interactively, you have to do it on a PC. But to look for the game on Steam and GOG as well on February the 28th. Torment Tides of Numenera.
Good thing they didn't really tease us this. Yeah, they'll be up on February 29th.
Yeah, that was...
All right, let's see what's on the tabletop. And my question for you is, if you're going to the Golden Globe Awards, what would you do after the awards ceremony?
Well, most people go to like fancy parties that they have.
Okay, so no one will go and do something like play Settlers of Catan or anything like that.
Well, if you're Kristen Bell and her husband Dax Shepard, that is exactly what you would do. I laughed so when I heard this and I saw this. This was, I think, is the funniest and the nerdiest and the coolest thing I have seen for a while. Yes, and those are pretty two big Hollywood names, too. Kristen Bell and Dax Shepard were walking the red carpet, and they got asked, what's your big plans for the after show? What big party are you going to? And Dax Shepard, just without missing a beat, said, well, at 8 o'clock, we're going to be playing Settlers of Catan. And the two interviewers on the red carpet were like, what's that? So they kind of explained what Settlers of Catan was. And then they said, are you going to be showing pictures of this? And they said, sure, we will. And sure enough, they did. Kristen Bell put up on her Instagram. They're sitting there in their fancy Golden Globe clothes that they wore. They're sitting and they're playing Settlers of Catan.
Okay.
There you go. Even celebrities are into board gaming, folks. But yeah, check this out. I did link the video to this over on the article on DDO Players. You got to check it out. It's the reaction of the interviewers was just great because they're like, what's that?
All right. Factions, the fancy themed playing card deck is now on Kickstarter.
Yeah, this is a pretty sweet looking set of cards. If you're playing any game that requires you to play a deck of cards, even if you're going to play like poker, or you're going to play gin rummy or euchre or whatever, if you have to use a deck of cards, why not use a fantasy themed faction deck? These are printed by the United States Playing Card Company, who of course knows what they're doing when printing cards, so they're going to be good cards. But they're a fully beautifully illustrated deck of 56 cards featuring iconic images and characters and suits themed to the world of fantasy. Faction contains all the cards in the traditional playing deck, and they've included 2 additional jacks, because why not?
2 additional jacks?
Don't know why you would want 2 extra jacks, but...
And where's it playing? Euchre?
No, well, yeah, I guess. I didn't think about that. That would come in handy for Euchre. They are hand-drawn and inked face. They I love the way these look. And they're not just a fantasy themed deck. They also have stories that go along with each card. All 56 cards are enclosed in a very awesome looking box that looks kind of like an old tome. So if you kind of picture, you can see the picture I put up on DDO Players. If you picture like an old book, that's kind of what the box is going to look like for these. And then, as I said, each suit of cards has a story. You can read the story of each suit. So the King of Humans, which is the King of Hearts, will have a story, and then you can read about the whole heart suit and so on and so forth. It's awesome. Great job on these. This is a Kickstarter that is up and running now. And of this recording, there's 23 days to go. They need a little bit to go. They're at 2,941 of the 12,000 they need to get these backed and to go. But I said 23 days. So check it out. This is just another little fun Kickstarter. These would just be kind of fun to like throw on the table if you're going to play some cards. Just something different than your standard blase deck of cards.
Right. So now let's go to another new game that's coming up. Hot Shots, a cooperative firefighting game that is coming from Fireside Games. Hot Shots firefighting game. There seems to be a trend here.
That's right. Who else to make a firefighting game, right? Yes, Fireside Games did announce that they are releasing Hot Shots, and it is a fully cooperative press your luck firefighting game. This is
Press your luck.
Press your luck. It's going to be in your FLGS on May the 31st. It is, of course, designed by Justin DeWitt, who you may know is the creator of the little game called Castle Panic. So he knows a thing or two about designing games, if you've ever played Castle Panic. What you're going to do with this is crews of 1 to 4 players are going to take on the roles of wild firefighters. You're going to have a crew boss, a spotter, a swamper, and a sawyer, with special abilities and roll dice on burning terrain tiles to match the combination shown on the tiles. The more faces they roll, the better they fight the fire. Players can choose to cut fire breaks, which will protect tiles from embers blown by wind gust, or you can push your luck to reduce the flames and possibly even generate reward tokens. But if a player busts and you fail to match at least 3 of the 6 symbols on the tile, the fire will grow. And another option is to maneuver vehicles. You will have air tankers, helicopters, and a brush rig to save the forest. So it's fully cooperative. Press your luck. It sounds really fun, actually.
And it sounds like a very different game than the other firefighting game that's already out.
Oh, yeah, this is completely different than that. So.
Oh, it's completely different from Flashpoint, because Flashpoint, of course, is fighting against a structural fire rather than a forest fire.
Right, yep, and this is complete forest fires, and then this does have the pressure luck element, which Flashpoint, I've only played Flashpoint once, but I don't remember it having any pressure luck element at all in it. So.
Yeah, I don't think so.
But as I said, this will be in your FLGS on May the 31st. So check it out if you want to fight some wildfires in Hot Shots from Fireside Games.
All right, but how about fighting some wild orcs in wartime?
You can do that thanks to WizKids. They are announcing a new board game they're having coming out this June. And as I put over on the article about this, stop me if you've heard this one before, Piney.
All right.
You have a fantasy battle. It's between humans and orcs.
I've heard of that before.
Yes, we have heard that before. But that is exactly what wartime will be. It is, but they're going to put a little twist on it, though.
A little twist on it. This isn't going to be like Warcraft.
No, it is nothing to do with Warcraft. Other than the war in the title, that's about it.
Okay.
Wartime is going to force the players to think on your feet instead of taking structured turns. Like most other games of the genre, each player has a number of 30, 60, or 90-second sand timers in which must be flipped when one of their units takes an action, be it to move or attack or use magic. That unit cannot act again until your sand timer resets. Victory depends much upon successful management of your sand timer as it does on your strategy and the effective use of your unit's abilities. But this sounds like a pretty interesting little miniatures game. Of course, these are going to use miniatures, and we all know WizKids knows how to make miniatures, so these should look pretty good, I would assume. We don't really know much more about it. We haven't seen any actual pictures of the miniatures or anything. All we know is kind of the premise of the game and what it's about, and it's going to release in June.
I'm not too sure about managing all those sand timers.
Yeah, that does seem like it could get a little hectic, I think. But it sounds kind of fun in a weird way, though, but it's going to be very stressful, I think. But I think that's kind of the point of it, because you're basically in a war, so it's not like you can't sit there and think about what you're going to do. You just have to move, react, do whatever you're going to do, and then change your strategy on the fly. So look for that in June, coming from WizKids' new miniature game called Wartime.
All right, it's time for us to look at our week in gaming. And Drac, what were you doing when you weren't writing all these articles?
I write a lot for the site this week. Well, a lot of board game and from the dungeon news this week. Nice to see for once. I was actually pretty busy in game. I did a lot of DDO. I had the most epic DDO week I think I have ever had, but I will get to that in a second. The druid, who is now my level 8 druid, that is going to be my wolf lock, of course, as soon as I hit level 9. Going to start on my warlock levels. I've talked about that before. I did over in House Denise. I did all of these on Elite. I did the Depths of Darkness, Depths of Despair, Depths of Discord, Depths of Doom. Lots of depths quest this week with my druid. Also started on the Delira's Tomb chain, doing that on Elite as well. Because like I said, I'm trying to do as many of these on Elite as I can. I'm pretty sure there's going to be a point where I'm not going to be able to, but so far I'm not doing bad. Knock on wood, we'll see what happens. I only did the first part of The Mystery of Delira's Tomb. Reason why I'm doing Delira's is, of course, I want to get the Voice of the Bastard trinket. So I got that chain to run through. Plus, I like Delira's too, because, I mean, come on. Gary Gygax is the DM. I dare somebody to say something bad about Delira's. This is awesome. So that's what I had going on my druid.
Well, the time limit on finding a certain book can get annoying.
That's actually not part of Delira's Tomb. That is,
it's not. Okay, that's a side quest just outside
that is
of it?
Yep.
Okay.
I love Dead Girl, though. Awesome quest. Speaking of that, I have to do that. I forgot about that one. Thank you for reminding me about that. I'll have to do that one too. Make a note of that. Okay. My rogue, which is level 15, that's the one I'm running with my friend who is playing his wizard. We're out in the Giant Hold. We did a Cabal for 1, a Cry for Help, and Feast or Famine. Did those on hard. Not too many problems on those. Enjoying that. I enjoy Giant Hold, so I like all those quests out there other than Crucible. Crucible needs to go die in a fiery pit somewhere.
In a crucible?
Yeah. And the only other thing over on Kadith that I did was with you. But now let's talk about my most epic DDO week ever.
Ooh.
Over on Argo, my Wolflock, who is level 21 now, was level 20, was running with the Damsels. We were doing Giant Hold. We did Giant Hold Tour. And then the whole point of doing that was they wanted to take me into the Reaver's Fate raid.
Oh, I thought they were trying to take you to the Crucible.
No, I refused to do that again. We did it one time, and I said, nope, that's enough. Not doing it again. So we went in and did the Reaver's Fate raid, and that is up on, I don't think it's on YouTube yet, but you can go over on Twitch and watch this in the Twitch archives for the DDO stream. This was pretty epic. The reason why I say it was epic is after we got done with the raid, and no, to answer everybody's question, I know everybody's asking, did I do the puzzle? Gumsking and the quest is asking. No, I did not. I refused. I dug my feet in and I refused to do it. So Saba did the puzzle. I stood there and watched her, but I didn't do it. I refused to do it. And yes, for those wondering, it is Mastermind. Watch the video and you'll see why. My friend watched a video and he's like, now I see why you're calling this the Mastermind puzzle. So yeah. So there you go. So we did that. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I actually learned how to do that. I had never done that raid before. So that was a fun raid. So then, after we got that done, we were trying to figure out what we were going to do. And I think it was Lessa noticed she was missing a cry for help. So that was the only quest that she needed to do to complete her saga out there. So we decided, well, we'll go run that real quick. That one, that quest is pretty straightforward and easy. That's a pretty easy quest to do. So we went out in Giant Hold to do that. But I'm not sure who actually entered Giant Hold first. But whoever did set the quest, the area out there on Epic. So we were on the Epic side of Giant Hold. And we pretty much epically pulled all of Giant Hold. It was insane. You have to watch the video to understand what I'm talking about. There was giants and lions and you name it. Just it was crazy. It got so crazy that Lessa and Mythery decided they were just gonna make a run for the dungeon and get to the dungeon just to get out of the craziness. They got there. They got swarmed by a group of giants. And I'm telling you, watch the video. This was the most epic thing you're ever going to see. Because, of course, we were all wolves. So we're all on our wolves. Mythery leaps over the top of Lessa, through a horde of giants, into the quest, and starts the quest. Most epic thing you're ever going to see. So we did that, got that finished, stepped out, went back, and then decided, well, let's do Lords of Dust, because we want to start the whole, get over to Evening Star chain thing. So we decided, all right, we'll go do Lords of Dust. Well, we're standing around waiting at the entrance to Lords of Dust. And apparently, from what we were told, I will quote Saba Jade here. You guys took too long to decide. So Saba steps in the quest. She sets it on Epic Elite. Not Heroic Elite, mind you. Epic Elite. So therefore, the quest was level 23 and we're level 20.
Okay.
So we get in there and we're all we're dead. We are so dead. We are going to just die horrible, horrible deaths because the first group of mobs we pull are CR 43s and 42s.
43?
Well, yeah, it's on Epic Elite.
I guess I didn't think it would jump up. I thought maybe it'd be high 20s or 30s.
On Heroic Elite, they would, not Epic.
But
so, yeah.
Giant Hold is a level 15 zone in Heroic, right?
That's not Giant Hold. That's in the harbor.
Oh.
That's the Lord. We have never done the Lords of Dust chain. I'm sure we've done it.
Oh, okay. Lords of Dust. Okay. Oh, okay. Lords of Dust.
I'm sure we've done Lords of Dust before. We're going to have to rectify this if we have never done Lords of Dust. I love this question. But anyway, so we actually managed to do this quest amazingly.
Okay.
Until we get to the boss fight at the end.
Yeah.
And this sets off a 45, it was at least 45 minutes. It might have been an hour. Epic long battle of attrition against this boss. It is the most epic thing you are ever going to see. And I can state for the record right now, this was the most fun I have had playing DDO in I don't know how long. I was laughing so hard. It was so much fun. We were dying left and right. We kept getting raises. We kept having we had a cleric with us. He was raising us. We kept having to run to the shrine. It was just, we did manage to actually complete the thing though. So it took us, I want to say it took us almost an hour to do it. It was crazy. I was up. We started playing at my time. We started playing at 2 a.m. By the time we were done and we finished Lords of Dust, it was 5:15 in the morning. But it was so worth it. It was so awesome. So check that video. You have to see that. Like I said, it's over on the DDO Stream Twitch page right now. It will soon be on YouTube, though. Check it out. It was fun. But, wow, lots and lots of deaths. But so much fun. And I didn't do the puzzle, so I'm proud of myself.
All right.
So that was my week in DDO. As you can tell, I did a lot and had a lot of fun doing it. The only other thing I did gaming wise is I did some more prep for the Storm King's Thunder. What I decided to do is, if you remember, the party decided they were going to take 9 quests, and that's going to send them all throughout the northern lands. So I needed, and in the Storm King's Thunder module, those are pretty open-ended. You can do whatever you want for the quest. They kind of give you hints and maybe suggestions on what you should do, but it's really up to you what you can have your party do. So I thought, okay, what I'm going to do is for all 9 of these quests, I'm going to hand create 9 different dungeons. So I created 2 of the dungeons for their quest. And then I also, when I got those done, I decided I was going to go ahead and, just so I'm totally prepped and ready, I did some random encounters that they're going to face out in the wilderness as they're going to the dungeon. So I rolled on those on the encounter table, so I got those ready. I also rolled their magic items that they're going to find, because that's basically the point of taking these quests, is your promised magic items. So I rolled on those, and I used the magic table as well for that. So all of that was random, but the dungeons are all of my creation. And I can't wait for them to run in the 1, because it's basically, I'll describe it as an Indiana Jones / Tomb Raider type dungeon delve. So they should have a lot of fun going through that. So we'll see if they all survive it. Because yes, I did add traps.
Well, of course you did.
See, of course, why would I not add traps? So that's what I did. So that took a lot of work, and I gotta say that's the most, I think, DM prep work I've ever done. Because usually, I prep and it usually takes me about a half hour or so, but I spent probably a good 2 to 3 hours actually creating these dungeons. I actually kind of mapped them out so I could lead them through it, and I created some traps, and I actually went back to my old. Do you remember the Grimtooth's Trath books that were out? It's a series of 5 or 6 different books for Grimtooth dungeon traps. So I actually took a couple traps out of there that I'm going to use. They're
good grief,
pretty deadly. So
taking anything out of a Trundles and Trolls book is guaranteeing it's going to be deadly.
Mm-hmm. That's the point, is it not? Yeah, so that's what I did this week. Pretty busy. How about you, Pine Leaf? What were you up to?
All right, I'll begin with what I did with you. We went into the Saltaire district and ran Missing, where I reached level 16, and then Fear Factory and Sinister Storage. And did you have a chance to hit 16 yet? I know that.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Thanks to the double daily dice, yes, I did.
All right. Then on my Human Monk, Past Life Artificer, I started the week at level 3, and then I ran just about every harbor quest I could find. I even remember to do Haberdasher, which I keep on forgetting to do in most of my playthroughs when I go through the harbor. And when we came to the point where we were having our run together, afterwards I went on to my monk and transferred many of my XP dice over to my monk, and went through my shared bank and my resurrection storage that I had there, because I had forgotten all about the resurrection storage. Or is that the reincarnation storage, I guess is what should be called there.
Oh yeah, your TR cache.
Yeah. So I had my reincarnation cache in there and took care of that. And that gave me a lot of XP, so it wasn't long before I hit level 4 as a result of that. That made level 3 quite a short one. And I think I hit level 4 around the time I was doing the Cerulean Hills, where I did Where There's Smoke and the Captives, of course. So I did a large number of harbor quests.
I have not done Where There's Smoke in for ages. I forgot about that quest.
And then I went and did the Sharn Syndicate. And when I was doing Stand Your Ground, I came to the conclusion that Stand Your Ground is not exactly the best quest to do when you're wearing a feather falling item. Because I'm trying to jump down because I'm on the top of the stairs. And so normally what I do is if the brigands come down is to jump down from the position where the NPC is at so I could go to them. And whenever I did that, it's going, I'm going to hit the ground someday.
I'll be with you in just a moment. Hold on.
Yeah, so that didn't work out for it. But fortunately, I was able to take care of all of the mobs, and so everybody did survive, which is all well and good. Now, when I was doing the Storm Reaper fresco, I managed to say that for a change, I actually have a good balance skill. This is the first character I've ever had that has a good balance skill. And it's a nice and refreshing not to slip down every time an Iron Guardian decides to spit out oil onto the floor.
Yes, balance is nice for that.
Yeah, so therefore I had a decent balance skill, and I don't think I have fallen flat on my face. There are a couple of times where, I may slip, but not actually falling flat on my face. That seems to be a very rare occurrence if it's happened yet. And also, I actually had a chance to use my finishers because I was using my finishers against the crystals in that quest. So I go pound, 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 builder, pound, 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 builder, pound, 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 builder, finisher. So I went through those pretty quickly by punching them with my fists. Now, in the Bookbinder Rescue, I decided on a lark to see what would happen if I went through the upstairs entrance instead of through the usual downstairs entrance that I've always used before. So this is my first time attempting it from the upstairs entrance. And I go in there. I take care of the mobs in the room. Everything's all nice and well. Then I step outside. And of course, every single mob in the dungeon decides to come after me.
Well, of course.
Well, yeah, so therefore I took care of them. Well, of course, except for the ones behind the room. And one time when I was trying to clear one of the rooms, and bashed in the door. Of course, bashing in the door with your fist isn't exactly the optimal way of getting a door open. But while bashing them with my fist, the NPC and one of the brigands ran out of the room. And I guess I didn't realize that one of them was the NPC I was protecting, so I went inside first to deal with the brigands there. And then suddenly, okay, where's the NPC that they were talking? Oh, and then I was too late. So I had to redo it, and this time I decided to start in the downstairs, and everything went pretty close to normal then. And then in Come Out and Slay, I hired the kobold because I figured a little ranged ability is all nice and good when you're doing that particular quest. Then I went into the marketplace and did Missing in Action and the Sunken Sewer. And in the Sunken Sewer, I'm not too sure I had ever done the spider area before. I actually did the spider area this time, and I don't recall ever going in there. I think really? I kept missing. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think of because I just didn't remember that place. But it could be I did it a long time ago and forgot it or something like this. Of course, I don't do the Sunken Sewer all that often either, so that could be another reason. Then I went back into the harbor and did the waterworks, which is just about the only thing I had not done in the harbor already. So I did the waterworks, took care of that, and I reached level 5 after I finished taking care of Ven and finding out what happened to him. And then I went into the catacombs and did the Friar's Niece. And I thought, okay, I'll set it on hard. I'm level 5. The catacombs are level 3. I'll set it to 5. And when I went to the point where I opened up the exit and found the information that I needed, every single zombie in the dungeon all awoke at once and all decided to come right straight towards me.
Welcome to the zombie apocalypse, finally.
Right, the zombie apocalypse. So I decided when I went to return to the sanctuary, I decided, all right, as to be precautious, I went back to normal. And I think the pulls were a lot more reasonable in that one. So Oh well. But yes, I got through the first two quests of the catacombs. Then in tabletop, I played Labyrinth of Souls. I played the advanced game and in Dungeon Solitaire, and I was getting all the way near the end, and I ran out of torches, and I got lost in the dark. Oh well. Then I decided to play a with the work scenario that they had in the book. And my first two tries at it was like getting killed in the first two rooms or something like that. And on the third attempt, I said, let's see how long I can go this time. And to my surprise, I actually won. I actually found all three of the gems and got out alive. And that's the first time I ever managed to do that in either the expert or the advanced mode. Then I tried a round of Hero Realms where I decided to try the Hunter in the solar game, and I got things were getting really close in there, but yeah, I lost the battle of attrition in the end, and oh well. Then I played some Elder Sign where I decided to play against, I forgot which of the elders. There was an elder I hadn't played before, and I started out with one investigator, and I got two of them killed off along the way. So I was on my third investigator before we got to the end game, and there I woke up the boss. And the last time I had gotten to the place where I woke up the boss, the rule was you automatically die. So game over. So this time I was actually one that had a real boss fight. And so this is the first time in all of my plays of Elder Sign where I've actually had a boss fight. And it all started out nice and well. It looked like, wow, this is pretty easy for a boss fight. And you know, you never say that in Elder Sign or any Cthulhu game. Because you know what's going to happen then. Quack! It turned south very, very quickly, and yeah, the whole thing, just fell apart, and I had met a grisly end eventually. Next, I played a new game that I got, Nautilian, which is another Omniverse game. And are you familiar with the Omniverse games?
They sound familiar, but I can't place it.
Yeah, the first of them is Onirim.
Okay. I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah, it's in the Omniverse game. So this is the fourth one in the series. So there is one apparently that was published a while back that was never reprinted, that some people consider to be a fifth one or something like that. But the ones that are regularly reprinted, there are four of them. And essentially these are all solitaire games with the two-player co-op option in them. So I was playing this. This is a one where you are trying to drive your submarine. It's a race game where you're trying to race your submarine against the opponents. In fact, you're going in opposite directions. So you're trying to get from your place to the abyss before the opponent can get from the abyss to the Happy Isle. And whenever you land somewhere, the tile there disappears. So therefore, the terrain slowly disappears. And then you cross paths with each other, and you're now going across the opposite direction. So it's a tricky game trying to maneuver things. I played 3 rounds of this, and I won one of the 3. The base game and the mercenary run I lost, but the Mages module, when I ran that, was fine. Because the Omniverse games, they always have these modules that come. They include a base game plus several add-on modules, and you can mix and match which add-on modules you want to use in this. So I did a couple of those on there. And so this looks like an interesting variation on there, because you would think that with something that has you roll and you move the number that you rolled, that a game like that wouldn't be very interesting. But you roll the 3 dice at once and you assign them, one for you, one for the enemy, and one for the dark house, which is this thing that could do bad things to you. And you would think that the idea there is, trivial. You give yourself the high ones and you give your opponent the low ones. No, it's not that, because you also have to have a full crew when you get to the end. And if you go too fast, you get to the end before you have a full crew, so you lose. But if you go too slowly, of course, the enemy could get to the other end before you do it, and you can lose. So it's a challenge doing just the right speed so that you could get there before the enemy, but also have a full crew. Then I played 11s for 1, and there I had a pretty friendly deal at the beginning, and I managed to actually win it. And that's the first time I managed to win 11s for 1. And finally, in Minecraft, I built the outer wall for my rendition of the Lighthouse of Pharaohs. So that means now I have to go and actually build the things. I've gotten it up to about a third of the way up the base level of the lighthouse, so now I've got to get further and further up and see how far I can get. See how long I can go before everything goes crashing down. We currently have 22 supporters on Patreon, and we give a big thank you to Onshi for being our top supporter. If you would like to help support DDO players, simply go to the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a mention on the podcast of your choice, or even be a guest with us for an episode of DDO Players News. And we have a featured comment from Mock, who left a comment on Wartime coming from WizKids. And what did he say?
He says, color me intrigued. This sounds like a pretty nifty game. Though, with WizKids producing miniatures for both Wizards of the Coast using the D&D license and Paizo using the Pathfinder license, you'd think this wouldn't be a, quote, generic, unquote, themed, and would instead carry one of these big two properties. They, WizKids, are even doing board games for Wizards of the Coast using the D&D license. Seem like this one would fit the bill. Go look up Against the Giants, for instance, coming later this year. Either way, I'm interested, and pending the initial looks at it, will look like it's a purchase.
All right. If you would like to contact us, you could send an email to us at podcast@ddoplayers.com. You can also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance at Players Ally, DDO Players at DDO Players, Draculetta at Draculetta_72, and Pineleaf at Pineleaf Needles. The Players Alliance has 4 live shows every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time via DDO Players News. Every Thursday at 9 p.m.-ish U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lojo Players News, and on the last Friday of each month at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Lojo Academy After School. You can join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all that we have for this week. This is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.